which is the best 6-2 team in your opinion?
Well, just the AFC. So there's the Jags, Ravens, Chiefs,
Miami.
Yes, Miami. So the question was, we saw these 6-2 teams. Of these 6-2 teams, who's the best ones? Now, you obviously just had the Chiefs lose to the Broncos, who are one of the worst teams, but you have the Dolphins as well that have lost some kind of weird games. The Ravens have also lost some weird games. They lost to the Colts. They lost that game to the Steelers. So there's just kind of some of these one-offs, and it's really kind of begs the question, who do you think the best team that's 6-2 right now? And the crazy part is these are the best teams in the NFL by record. There isn't one NFC team that is 6-2. So kind of crazy. But out of those four teams, Jags, Dolphins, Ravens, Chiefs, fellas, who do you got?
This is the most it's just a weekly statement now. This is the most wide open I've ever seen the AFC ever.
Thanks for answering the question.
Yeah, but I'm going to go Baltimore Ravens still. I just think of like, it's hard for me not to say the Chiefs, but I think we keep seeing that if Mahomes isn't a superstar, they don't win.
Correct.
And they used to be able to make up for that. They had playmakers, and their defense was good enough to where if he didn't play incredible, they could get by, and he could hold them in the game long enough for him to make it happen. But I just don't see that from them this year. And so it's almost like if he's not an MVP, they're not winning that game. So I'm going to have to go with the Ravens.
Parker?
By a million. By a million. Ravens by a million.
Get this guy.
No, I like the trend that we're on, and I don't like the trend that the Chiefs are on. They're the defending champs, no doubt. But right now, it's all B-more. It's all Baltimore.
I think Baltimore, roster-wise, to me, would be the best of the 6-2. But as far as I still got to give my flowers to the Chiefs, I think down the road, right now they're not maybe the best 6-2, but I think that until they're out, the Chiefs are never out. But how about a little of the Jacksonville? I was not fully sold on everything that was going on with them, but they're slowly playing well and beating some good teams in situations. So my number one pick is Baltimore, but I honestly say maybe Jacksonville right now, as far as I think Kansas City, if you're going to say in the postseason, I'd put Kansas City near the top. But we're saying right now, as far as how the teams are going and how they're progressing, Jacksonville just seems like they're gaining momentum and confidence. They got a solid defense. Their quarterback is starting to make some big throws, or he has over the last couple of years. And Travis Etienne is a beast and a guy that keeps me up at night because I didn't draft him in fantasy. And it hurts. I took Stevenson, and that hurts even more, to say the least.
For me, I think I'm going to say the Ravens as well. And I know that, we're all Ravens fans here, but when you look at the schedules that these other teams have gone up against, the Ravens have played the toughest schedule up to this point and have the best record. Yes, there's some things that the Ravens need to clean up. We've talked about, Lamar fumbling the ball. We've talked about the defense giving up games at the end in the fourth quarter. And so there is those concerns for sure. But when you look at the schedule, I'm looking at the Chiefs schedule right now. The Chiefs have played the Lions, the Jaguars, the Bears, the Jets, Vikings, Broncos, Chargers, and they lost to the Broncos again. Moving forward, they play the Dolphins in Germany next week.
Should be a great game.
Yeah. They play it's going to be really weird. They play
I don't know how I feel about that game.
Eagles, another division game against the Raiders. That should be
in Germany. That's just a weird Germany game. Like, I want to see that game here. I just feel like that has potential to be such a cool game, and I just don't want it being in Germany in like a weird time to throw off. Like, I'd rather see them play in Miami or Kansas City. Like, don't make those highlight matchups because it's going to be at 9 a.m. again, isn't it?
9:30.
Yep. Yeah, like that just that makes me upset. Like, that should be a Sunday night, Monday night football game.
Either way,
gets it at 9:30.
Either way, the Chiefs' schedule is going to get harder. They play 1, 2, 3 of their next 5 games are teams that have a winning record. And so I'd be curious to see what they look like over the next 3 to 4 weeks. And then we can, of course, have a different conversation about that. So that's those are my thoughts, and that's why I think the Ravens probably have the edge over everybody else. But I'm with Ryan and Parker here. I think the Jaguars are a close second. Trevor Lawrence is looking pretty damn good out there for sure.
Can we all say who we think is the worst here? I think Dolphins. The 6 and 2 teams. I think they're the worst team here of the 6 and 2.
Why do you say that?
We haven't seen them really play. Like we've talked about this before. Every time we see them up against a decent opponent, and that's honestly was where I was going with the, being in Germany thing is like that's another test for Miami, but now it's just such a different feeling of if they get blown out by the Chiefs in Germany, like it's just a different. You have more of an excuse. Where I would rather see these guys play a Sunday night football game in Kansas City and see how the Dolphins respond there, rather than who can adjust in Germany.
Yeah, I think it's a test for both teams for sure. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top there. Anybody think Swifty's going to be there?
She better be.
Tay going to be in Germany?